Please put your hands together. Y'all are going to love them. For the very funny Jake
Thank you, folks. It's a real thrill to be here. Thank you so much. I hope we have a good time tonight. I'm trying to be more fun. That's what I'm trying to do. Like last year, I would describe myself as a guy that takes Xanax. This year, I'm trying to be a guy who does Xanax. Does that make sense? As they say, it's like a fine line. You just got to snort that line. That's what I'm trying to do in my new life. But I live in New York now. I moved up there, and I was on the phone with my mom on the subway recently, and I don't know any other way to put this. Someone had shit on the subway train. New York's kind of a nightmare. And I was on the phone with my mom, so I said, "Hey, Mom, I think I got to call you back. I think someone shit on the train." And what my sweet Southern mother, her response to that was she said, "Oh, that should be illegal." My mom thinks New York is a lawless nightmare where you're allowed to shit on trains. What does she think? She's like someone just shitting on the train? Like, haha, this ain't no crime. What you gonna charge me with? You can shit on trains here, Lisa. Oh, yeah. No, I love it. It's the best. Like, I think you can tell everything you need to know about New York City by what they actually do remind you is illegal to do when you're in New York. If you ever go, every 3 minutes when you're on the New York City bus, a reminder comes on that it's illegal to fight the bus driver. I swear to God. And it's terrifying. You look, because you hear that and you're like, wait, who's going to fight the bus driver? And then you look around and you're like, oh, yeah, there's some candidates in here. There's some real contenders for that belt. Because the bus driver in New York, he's not vulnerable. They have him behind a cage. They keep him behind this, like, riot shield. And then they still do the announcement. That means there's people out there like, I'll cage match fight that bus driver. I'll do it. Schedule that for one fall, no holds bars. I'm going to win this bus. It's ridiculous. It's the silliest announcement. And I say how dumb it is, but then I went to Cincinnati recently. Like, I went to another town, and I rode their public transit system. I got on the Cincinnati bus, and the bus driver greeted me. He was like, how's your day? It was like a warmth I was unaccustomed to, and I was just like, don't talk to me. What is this? And he's like not behind a cage, and there was like no reminder, and I was like, I think you could fight the bus driver. I think it's legal here in Cincinnati. Yeah, but I'm a little swamp boy from Florida. That's where I came out of a little creek and then started talking. That's what I did. And, like, we grew up kind of poor, but my dad was resourceful. Like, he always had a lot of assets wrapped up in camel cash, things like that. What they would do. Real smart guy. He realized he could just pledge himself to his Vice's rewards programs, and then they would just send him sweatshirts and shit. And then he could just use that to clothe his two boys. So, like, one day in 5th grade, I get sent to the principal's office because I was wearing a Marlboro jacket to school. You can't do that. So the principal was like, well, Jake, just take that off. And then under it, I had a Budweiser shirt. Yeah, just a trashy-ass kid. Some sort of trashy layered kid. Like, imagine a trashy onion, if you'd like. Just keep peeling back layers, and I get trashier with each layer. So you get down to my Dale Earnhardt core. You know? Right, dude. It's a trashy little boy. And the weirdest thing I can remember my father coming home with was one year he redeemed all of his camel cash for the fiscal year, and he got some accountants in here. And so all of his camel cash for the whole year, and he got a Camel brand electrical generator. That was in the catalog. I don't think Camel thought they were going to have to send those out. I think he got the one from the picture. So we get a Camel brand electrical generator that later got us through a Florida hurricane. Like, have you ever smoked so many cigarettes that you saved your family? That's what my dad did. Just a white trash hero. Just out there saving our lives in the garage every 20 minutes. He's a weird guy. I just had to call him. We just had a hurricane recently. I had to call him, make sure he was ready, get all stocked up with the provisions. And I called him, like, well, Dad, you ready? And his response to that was, well, Jake, won't be the first time I ate dog food and drank out of a tub. What? Bruce, it should be. What are you talking about? Do I need to come down there? Dog food? They told me that story about the last hurricane. He went to get provisions. All he got was ice cream and dog food. You know, the two food groups. He's a lunatic. He's a weird guy. Like growing up, most of my life, he was into like classic rock, like Bob Seger and whatnot. And then he went through this weird phase one summer where his favorite album was A Little Bit of Mambo by Lou Bega. That was like the album Mama Number 5 was on. That's what he would do. Anytime he was in the living room and the dog was in the living room, they were probably dancing to Mama Number 5. That's what they do. The dog would get up on two legs. They would like salsa dance for a little bit. And he was doing it so often that anytime the dog heard Mama Number 5 kick on, it would get all jazzy. Because it like knew it was about to dance. Which is just a white trash Pavlov's dog. That's all that is. That's just like you ring a bell, the dog drools, and like, oh, and here's trumpets. I'm gonna go get my fedora. I'm gonna dance. Dancing dog. You know, it is good to be here back in the South. We got all the Southern chains now. Like good example, they don't have Waffle House in New York. Then I know, the gas. Oh my God. What would I do? And the first time I heard that, I was talking to someone in New York, and I was like, well, you don't have Waffle House. Where do y'all go to fight? Huh? You don't have the Waffle House. Where do you go to work things out with your wife? That's what the Waffle House is. It's like white trash Geneva Convention. You go there to work out custody disputes. Find out who's going to get the kid. And then I had to explain what Waffle House was to someone in New York. And then the only way I could do that, I was like, well, I mean, technically it's the world's shittiest hibachi, I guess. Like they cook in front of you, but you kind of wish they didn't. They make it all right there, you know? I'd rather you just be like smothering and covering something up. I don't want it all out in the open. So the Waffle House. It's, yeah, it is good to be here. I love, I make no qualms about it. One of my favorite comedians is Jeff Foxworthy, and I get a lot of shit for that. I think he's so great. I think he's so funny. He's so excitable. Like, I was delighted to find out that Jeff Foxworthy was the spokesperson for Golden Corral. That's too pure of a marriage. Those brands mesh together way too well. Like, he's the spokesperson, and I don't even think they had to pay him. I think he just showed up and he was like, y'all mind if I say a few things about Golden Corral? And they were like, sure, Jeff, I guess. And he's like, oh, y'all gonna film it? That's cool, I was gonna do it one way or another. And they don't even like have to pitch him the script for the commercial. He's like, what is this? It's about the Thursday deal. Kids eat $4.99 on Thursdays. Like, he already knew it. He already knew the script. We got the new Chocolate Wonderfall. Come check this shit out. It's ridiculous. The Chocolate Wonderfall they have gone too far. That is, Golden Corral is the Chocolate Wonderfall, which is just a spout of chocolate that you can dip anything in. That's too free. There should be some rules and regulations about what you can dip in the Wonderful. You can dip anything. You can just be like chocolate salad. I'm doing that. Chocolate hamburger, unorthodox, but probably delicious. You can just do that. Like, if you're really, like, if I'm like a single dad and I take my kids to Golden Corral, I would be like, all right, kids, that was, good meal. Thank you so much. Tips on the table. We love great service. All right, boys. Fists in the Wonderfall. Fists in the Wonderfall. I want chocolate fists on both of y'all. I don't want chocolate hungry again. I want y'all walking out here with chocolate fists. You better not get it on my Dakota. I'll be mad. No chocolate strips on the truck. Just on your hand. Chocolate fist. Oh, boys. Oh, boys. Yeah. People ask me all the time what the difference, like, north, what's the difference? I don't know, people are just excited about some weird shit in the South. You don't get up north. Like, for example, no one's looking for Bigfoot in New York City. That's why I think he's there. I think he figured it out. I don't know if you ever had a conversation with, like, a member of the Bigfoot community. Their main talking point is generally how intelligent Bigfoot is. That's the one they like to lean on. They're just like, he's so smart, he's eluded us all these years. Honestly, we've never even found Bigfoot bones. So, like, they must be cremating each other. I don't know how they're doing that. Got some tricks up his sleeve, he does. And if he's really that, he just moved to New York, where he's not a spectacle. As long as he's, like, asking for money or something, no one's seeing him. But in the South, they're looking. They're out there looking. It's like a hobby. You just go in the woods and you look for Bigfoot. And they've been doing this for years. And, like, I would love for them to find Bigfoot. I think that's a harmless reward for people. Like, science has denied the existence of Bigfoot for years, and it hasn't stopped these, like, rednecks from going in the woods and looking. And I would love for them to find him. Because what happens, usually a scientist will, like, discover a new species, and then they just get the scientific name for the species. That's all that happens. You find a new frog, you get to name the frog. This would be the first time it would be not even close to a scientist. It would just be some fucking redneck in Talladega, Alabama, and he'd be like, that's up to me? Jeff Gordon monster, I guess. I don't know. How's that sitting with everybody? Is that good? He's like at a press conference announcing the discovery. It's a bunch of scientists and academic types. How's that sound? Do we like it? Someone's like, oh, it's usually Latin. He's like, oh, Latin, no, I got other ones. What about, like, Coors Light Silver Bullet Beast? How's that sound? Is that Latin? What about like the Hardee's guy? Is he the Hardee's guy? Oh, I love that. That would make me so happy. But yeah, I live up in New York. This just happened recently. My neighbor, he just got his van graffitied on, and he uses it for work. So what he did is he just went and had it painted and tricked out like the old A-Team van. Like, that'll show him. Or that'll get the respect. Like, is anyone else just bummed out to realize that the A-Team just drove a van? It's a low achievable bar. Like, it's cool, but it's, like, doable. But, like, I don't think it's pronounced A-Team. I think it's just a team. Like, I don't think that's a letter grade. I don't think they're the best team. I think they're just like, shit, we're in trouble, get us a team. They're like, these men seem to have gone Dutch on a van, I guess. They got a van to their name. Just driving around fighting dudes in their van. Like, I'm not sure if they're a crime-fighting team or a catering company, but they got a van. People are on. People after the show, they go, hey man, A-Team's pretty cool. And I'm like, yeah, they are, but like, come on, it's pretty doable. Like, we could all be the A-Team. I know I don't look like a guy that would have opinions on So You Think You Can Dance. But well, folks, here's a hot take. Maybe we just give them the benefit of the doubt. They're professional dancers making their network television debut. Like, could there be a show title with more Mean Girl venom in it than So You Think You Can Dance? There's like an implied up and down in that. Like, so you think you can dance? And like this implied bitch at the end. It's rude. I don't like your tone. So you think you can dance? It should be something like, I'm sure you can dance. Why don't you show us? Right? Something like, we watched that tape you sent us, the one where you were dancing a lot. I bet you can still do that. Like, there's no other shows like that. There's not like, ew, you want to be a millionaire? Yeah, I bet. Just something like, America's Got Talent? Well, I haven't seen it. Like, why are we so catty with our dancers? Let's just, come on, let's help them out. Let's just help them out a little. This has bugged me ever since I was a child, that, like, very little the villains do on Scooby-Doo is ever illegal. Doesn't they go to prison at the end of the episode? For what? What's the, like, but no one fights it. They just go to jail. No one's ever, like, stood up and be like, I'm sorry, officer, is it illegal to haunt your own house? You're gonna have to run me through this one, officer. I don't rightfully understand what I did wrong here. Like, what's it say there? I was roller skating with a sheet over my head? Yeah, I was doing that. That's correct. That's correct. Yeah, uh-huh. That's what I do. That's the thing I like to do. But, like, does it say that kids broke into my house? Is that on there? Are they going to prison with me? No? So it's like, okay, in theory, officer, what if they don't break into my house? What if I'm just roller skating for no one? Then am I just being weird for no one? Is that a crime? Like, what is this, a dry spook county? I don't get it. What is it, you can't spook in this county no more? County been dry since ghost prohibition, officer? Is that what's happening here? I don't get it. They just go to prison. Why? I don't know. It's sad. That's what's wrong with the justice system in this country. What do I make it like really woke? That's why we need police reform. Nobody's supposed to have a message, but I just do dumb shit about Scooby-Doo. Yeah, I hate kids' sports movies. Same reason. I hate they don't set villains up enough. Like a children's sports movie, like the antagonist, the bad guys in any like children's sports movie, is just another group of kids. And they take all of about 40 seconds setting them up. They just show a team practicing hard and being good at the sport. It takes a little more than that for me to hate a group of children. It's pretty silly. Like in a movie like Air Bud, the only thing the other team does wrong is they just don't have a dog on their team. That's it. And the tone of the film was just like, dunk on them, Air Bud. Dunk on these dogless children. I don't get it. That's not enough. It's not enough. I need more out of them. Yeah, it's good. My mom lives in Alabama. She moved out there. My mom lives in Arab, Alabama. You know, like the slur. How you spell it? Like the slur. Arab. I think they just named it Arab after things they were afraid of. They're just like, yeah, we live out in Arabs. Oh, my house? Yeah, it's up on Finding Out Your Son's Gay Parkway. That's where I live. Right out there. You're going to want to get to my house? Yeah, you come to a fork in the road and take your guns Boulevard, and you're going to want to turn left. I want to find out your sweet son's gay. Arab. I was out there recently. I love Arab. I love Alabama. It's a great spot. No one talks about it at all. I've lived my entire life in the South up until recently, and I never saw an Alabama tourism commercial. I think, honestly, at this point, it would just be like, Alabama, you know what we got. We still got it. Come get you some. Top. Right, Alabama, right where you left it. Something like that. Something silly like that. I was just doing... Man, it breaks my heart to think about this. I was just doing the saddest thing I think you can do recently. I was online looking at, just as a goof online, looking at buying a horse online. But I had the filter set to lowest price first. So I was looking at discount horses. And let's play a fun game. Let's talk about the cheapest horse I found. Anybody got any guesses? Let's start a bidding. What's the cheapest horse I found? What do you think? Over here, someone yellow price out. $400. What a great price for a horse, right? $400. Much lower. Let's go, over here. $80. What a deal. What a great deal for a horse that would be. Not even close. Over here. $1. That's too sad. $2 horse. $2 horse, folks. I found a $2 horse. Isn't that the saddest thing you've ever heard? Doesn't that sound like a children's book? Like Old Jake and the $2 horse. Like I just buy the $2 horse and then we have adventures, fight crime, solve mysteries, me and my $2 horse. Yeah, it was a $2 horse in Vermont. It was $2. His name was Romeo. I don't know why I told you his name. Why did I tell you his name? Romeo the $2 horse. And the number is right there. I can call about the $2 horse, but then I'm kind of realizing I don't know anything about horses. I don't think I could figure out why he was $2. So I would call and I'd be like, all right, this horse, how are his cloppers? Does he have good cloppers? This guy you're showing me online, is he a little clip-clop boy? How are his cloppers? All right, be straight with me. He's $2. What's wrong with this horse? Is he haunted? Is this a haunted horse? Why is he $2? $2 horse, yeah. but I love it. It's good. I want to do some other stuff. I conveniently taped this to the water bottle, but then I realized I have to turn it to see it. So it's like not that slick. Not that slick at all. It's good to be back in Atlanta. If you don't know, like I can sum up Atlanta in one story. This happened when I worked downtown. Two guys I worked with were like arguing. They were just like having more of a conversation, but this is how it went down. One of my buddies I worked with goes, hey Melvin, hey man, you watching New Girl right now? It's got that Zoe Dave Chappelle in it. That's Atlanta. That's it. That's the whole show. It's just a group of people who think her name is Zoe Dave Chappelle. Started a city. So half my family's from Alabama, and so what happened was my mom remarried. So like I got to meet my new Alabama family. I got a new granddad. That doesn't usually happen. It's like Mario. Like, whoa, bonus granddad? Whoa. Oh, neat, I got an extra granddad. And so I get to go meet my step-granddad, Rex, who was a great guy, but he was one of these old men that just had no idea how to talk to children anymore. Like, they say, like, kids say the darndest things, but, like, old men that don't give a fuck anymore, they tend to say much darnder things, y'all. And they usually say these darn things to children, is how that plays out. So Rex, he starts giving us all the warning signs we've been warned about as children, that like if an adult is saying these things to you, you need to go grab another adult because you might be getting molested. Like he means well, and he has no idea how he's coming off, but this is what Rex decides to open with. I'm about 12 years old, my little brother's about 8 years old. This is what Rex does. He just goes, hey boys, how's it going? Good to meet you. Good to meet you. You guys want to go see something with me in the other room real quick? You see something? But this is like illegal. This has to be like our secret. You guys want to be little secret keepers? You want to do that? Keep a little secret, little Rex. And I've always been like really jaded. So even as a kid, I was just like, it's his dick. Oh boy. All right, you're gonna see an old man's dick today. Yikes. Later down the line. So Rex, he takes us in this room he's got away from all the adults. He's got us sitting on the bed. And he goes, all right, hold on, boys. I'll be right back. I'm going to get ready. And I'm just sitting there with my brother, and I was like, hey, man, you know what might be happening here, right? And his response was, yeah, we're about to see some cool shit. And I was like, probably not, bud, probably not. And Rex, he comes back into the room. He's wheeling this box out that he's got covered with a tarp. And I'm really confused at this point, but I've never been molested before, so I'm like, I don't know, don't be rude, whatever. At least he's got an act. At least he's got some showmanship. He's gonna do some box reveal thing. And so Rex, he's standing behind the mystery box, and he goes, all right, boys, seriously, this can't leave the room, right? This is between us. My little brother is so enthusiastic, he just signed us up to see the presumable dick. He's like, yeah. And he goes, all right, Troy, I'll show you, buddy. Don't you worry. And then he unveils the tarp to reveal that what it is, it's an aquarium with a soft-shelled turtle in it. Like, weird, not his dick, right? I was almost like, what is this? Show me your dick. This is ridiculous. I was prepared to see a dick, and now you're showing me a turtle, Rex? Explain yourself. What is this? He's a good guy. It was a turtle that he found injured, which I don't know if I buy. How do you know a turtle's injured? It was moving slow. It's a turtle, Rex. They all move slow. That's what they do. But it's an endangered species that he's like not supposed to have. So he's just like real secretive and real molesty about whoever he shows soft-shelled turtle to. Because he's afraid the government is going to come take his turtle. Not my sweet turtle. Yeah, he's a wild man. I just had this happen recently. I've been telling this story a lot, but it's such a ridiculous story that I always try and tell it with like fresh enthusiasm. I just had FedEx, the delivery company. You're familiar with their work. Why did I say that's what they are? Everything would not know FedEx that's the frozen yogurt place, right? FedEx, the delivery. I had FedEx accuse me that I had stolen a package from my neighbor. Just pretty bold, right? Like I just stole a package off my neighbor's porch. But the subject matter was insane. What was stolen was $5,000 worth of wigs. So my neighbor had ordered either like a plethora of wigs, just this wealth of like Halloween wigs, or one magnificent wig. I do not know which. That's a spectrum. All I knew was $5,000 worth. That could be 2,000 wigs. That could be one immaculate wig. And so what happens when FedEx like loses a package that's worth that much money is I found out they don't just give up on it. They have a detective on retainer. They keep a private investigator on staff for instances like this where they can see if they can go track down the package. So a lady comes to my door, and I have none of this information yet, mind you. This will be the first I'm hearing of the wigs caper when she comes to my door. But she still wants to be all mysterious and noir and private investigatory about it. So she opens my, I knock on the door, or she knocks on the door, and I open the door. And then this is what she opens with. She just goes, "Hey, you got those wigs for us?" I was like, that sentence needs to be longer. What does that mean? Also, hello? Like, I've never accidentally had wigs for anybody, so I could probably just say no right now. But, like, please explain to me what's happening. And then she tells me there's thousands of dollars worth of wigs on the lamp. And that's the first I'm hearing of it, so I start laughing in her face. Which was a very bad step in hindsight. Bad move on my part, because she took that laughter to be like, "This is our guy. All right. We found him." And then I became the prime suspect in the wigs case from there on out. They labeled me a person of interest in the case. And she's grilling me. She's asking me all these questions about the wigs. And she asked me one I think is so funny. She goes, "Okay, you don't have the wigs, but have you seen anything?" And boy, do I wish I had seen something. Either side of that spectrum story. Like, yeah, now that you mention it, a bunch of fellas around the neighborhood got new wigs recently. They look so flossy in their new great wigs. Or my friend Corral has this incredible wig you gotta see. He's the cock of the walk now. Wig. He won't say where he got it. Like, no, I haven't seen anything, lady. That's ridiculous. I haven't seen wigs happenings. And then she takes that and she's real fed up with me that she's not getting me to confess to having wigs. And so she leaves as mysteriously as she came. She just goes, "Okay, we're gonna have to do it the hard way." It just leaves. What's the hard way, folks? What does that mean? And I found out what the hard way was 3 days later because they just called the police on me. That's all it was. They got the actual fuzz involved. So a cop comes to my door, and I've never seen a police officer less enthusiastic about an assignment. He comes to my door and he goes, "All right, man, we got to talk about these wigs, I guess." He dropped an "I guess" in there. And I was like, "All right, sure, man, let's do it. Let's talk wigs." And so I step outside, and we're talking. And he's kind of sizing me up as we talk. And eventually he just kind of interrupts me, and he makes this judgment call about me I'll never forget. He just goes, "All right, man, you don't look like the type of guy that would have expensive wigs." Who looks like that? What do you think was going to answer the door? That's crazy. And so he goes, "All right, I don't think you look like a guy that would have those kind of wigs. So we can make this real quick, but you just consent to me searching your apartment? Like legally, you just got to give me consent to enter your apartment. I'll look around. We can put this whole thing behind us." And I never thought I was going to be in that situation that all my stoner friends were preparing me for my entire life. Because I know what to do. Everyone knows what to do. You got to be like, get a warrant, and I think you have to call him Pig. Get a warrant, Pig. I'm sorry, Pig, but I have to say it. I know my rights. I've seen rap videos. You got to get a warrant. And, I'm in that situation where I know that's what you're supposed to do. And I feel bad about this. I feel bad about this day. I just let him in. I was just like, yeah, whatever, poke around. And it eats me up. It eats me up because it's just left me fantasizing about him having to get the silliest warrant of all time. He would have to go before a judge and prove probable cause. So he'd have to go before a judge and be like, I think this guy's got those wigs. And the judge would be like, that sentence needs to be longer, officer. What does that even mean? That can't be your opening argument. All right, okay, well, this guy, what do he look like? Did he look like a guy that would have expensive wigs? And the cop would be like, no, it's also a callback from earlier. I don't think so. Honestly, if I'm being straight with you, Your Honor, he kind of looked like if Mr. Fantastic lost his powers mid-stretch, I guess. Something like that. That Mr. Fantastic guy, like, just reached for something, got stuck pretty kind of long. That's like what this guy looked like. Just kind of a long man. I think the judge would be like, you know what? That's pretty weird. Get in there. And then they'd break in for the wigs. But like I said, I just let him in. And this is what the cop did. He kind of came into my apartment, and he kind of saw how dirty the living room was at the time, and he just goes, all right, you don't have the wigs. And he left. He just left. And I wish I had known he was coming, because then I could have just gone out and bought some dumpy wigs. Could have just gone to Party City real quick, got some shitty wigs, had some fun with him. Just come to the door like, what can I do for you, officer? What brings you around here? So what do I owe the pleasure, sir? Oh, stolen wigs, huh? No, I don't know nothing about those. I don't know. Can you hold on 1 second? I got spaghetti on the boil in here. I'd like to leave for a minute. Just come back in a different wig, huh? Where were we? Wigs? W-I-G? Wig? Am I saying it right? Oh, you want to come in? Yeah, that's fine, man. All right, that's all right. Yeah. I'd let him in. Just make sure I have a wig on my dog. No, yeah, that's my wig. That's my dog's wig, right? Is that illegal? Does the dog have a wig? She's got alopecia. We got her a wig. Well, folks, that's been it for me. Thank you so much. Thank you. Sincerely, thank you.